guys, I'm going to be giving you a quick tutorial on removing a background or adding a coloured background onto an original image. So let's just start. The first tool that you want to use is the polygonal lasso tool. This can sometimes be hiding underneath the lasso tool, so if you click and hold that tool on the toolbar, you should be able to find it. It looks like a little bird. And what I'm doing here is I'm just clicking and tapping around the edge of the image. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to blend that later on. So here you can see that I'm just clicking around, and remember, don't click and drag because that's gonna not continue the line. It's just gonna basically drag it to a weird point. So if you just click, tap and release and continue around your image. I mean, you may want to take more time with your image depending on what the background colour is going to be, but I kind of just sped through it. So if you want to meet the point back at the point where you started, and then if you go into your workspace and make sure that it is on Essentials so you can see your Paths menu, what you want to do is click this little orbit tool and double click and rename your path, otherwise that won't save and you'll have to redraw it again. If you click the little March and Ant tool and then go back to your layer and create a new layer, and I'm just going to pick a background that's similar to what's behind the image already, and I'm just filling it in with the paint bucket. And what I want to do once I've done this is go to my smudge tool, which hides underneath the sharpen tool. So you can adjust the brush size at the top of the screen. So all I'm doing is I'm clicking and dragging and rubbing those edges out so it kind of blends in with the image. Some areas may be a bit harder to work with than others, so if you just pay a bit more attention to detail to them. You will find if you make your brush smaller that it speeds the computer up a bit. The larger your brush is, the longer it takes to actually blend it. Let's speed through a little bit. Now what I want to do in a second is I'm actually going to try using a lighter colour, because you may actually want to use a bright colour rather than one that blends in with the original image. So what I'm going to do is actually delete the layer that I'm working on and create a new one, and then go back to Paths. And if you go back to Paths, you won't have to redraw around the image again. You can click the path that you created earlier and then click your little marching ants again. So that should just let you fill in with whatever colour you want. As you can see, it doesn't blend in with the image as much as the black did, but I'm going to try smudging it out again. And the good thing about actually starting with a colour is that you can change the colour later on with specific settings. I'll show you how to do that in a second. The way that you would actually change the colour is if you go to adjustments and then hue saturation. You can adjust the little bars to pick a specific colour on the colour wheel that you like. You can adjust the lightness and the darkness of the colour as well, and also the intensity and the saturation, so if you want it to be a really bright colour or whether you want to dull it down. Again, I'm adjusting the size of my brush here because with specific areas it works a lot better if you use a smaller brush. It takes more time, but if you really want to put the effort into for that image to be a lot better, it's worth using a smaller brush and zooming in around the edges. Obviously I'm just speeding through this to get it done. And some other areas may need blurring a little bit more than others. So as you can see, I've went and made my brush a tiny bit bigger on that arm there because it wasn't blending as much. And again, on those fine areas, just resizing the brush to a smaller size. And if you want to erase any areas away that have blended too much onto the original image, you can just use your eraser tool. But yeah, that's basically it. If you want to change the colour again, you can play around with the adjustments, hue saturation section. And I'm just picking a colour that suits the image a little bit better. But yeah, that's basically it. Feel free to follow the video at your own pace. Pause the video, check what tools I'm using. I know I went through it a bit quick, but yeah, go through it at your own pace and have a try.